Hello everyone and welcome to another hDAO video. Today I'm going to go over the whole price history of hDAO, what happened, why did it spike, why did it fall, what is it doing, all that kind of stuff. We're going to look at charts, we're going to look at numbers. Now, to start off, I want to say, if you don't know what hDAO is yet, I made an explanatory video about that as well. You can find it on this YouTube channel, just look at the previous uploads. Maybe I'll link it in the description, I'm not sure, I'll find out. Anyway, so let's start with this chart. Now this chart is not complete, it starts in late April, right, it starts in late April, and the price before that we don't have on the chart, but we have this object. And now here you can see the number on the left is the day in April, while the number on the right is the hour. And so if we look around here, so this chart there starts on around the 24th. Yeah, we're 2.6. Now if you look here, we can just double check one more time. Here 2.8, yeah, probably different hour. It's 15 here. Yeah, 2.9, so as you see, this is correct. This is a real object. And now with this, we can turn back time a bit and we can start seeing what happened. So let's go back a few days, let's say around 10 days. And as you can see, 1 hDAO was 0.03 Tezos, which is incredibly low. But back then, hDAO was still just a number that you could see on your hDAO profile, and no one really understood what it was. No one really knew it was a governance token. I mean, it does have DAO in the name, so you could have thought about it, and some people did. Or you could have read the GitHub file on hDAO, which also some people did, but most people didn't. And you would have known, and some people bought at these prices, so they're doing really well now. But if we go forward in time, we can see around the time that people realized, oh shit, this is a governance token. And I think that was triggered by a tweet, because that's how I saw it, honestly. So here we can see we're going to the decimals already, I think. Yeah, decimals. So we have 0.1. And then we go to the next day, 0.3. We go a bit forward on the 19th, still not too much action. 0.3 still. And then on the 20th, people start realizing it here. We get to 0.4, 0.5, 0.6 in just a few hours, 0.9, and it just keeps growing like that. Well, there's a little drawback here for people who bought very early, who decided to sell a bit again. They didn't think it would go much higher. Well, shame for them, because it did go a lot higher, and we'll see that soon. And I mean, you might also know that already. But yeah, if we go forward here, 2 already. Okay, wait, let me go back a bit. Here on the 21st, it's already over 1. Yeah, here we go. This is about the time when people start realizing, oh shit, this token exists, I can buy this, and it's gonna give me governance rights to hDAO. Of course, back then, not too much was known about it still, but just knowing that it is a governance token changed a lot, you know, it's made people realize that this has value, since hDAO has value, and owning this governance token is almost like owning a share of the company. So now we will move back to the graph here, finally now we are caught up with the graph, and we can see, as I said, people started realizing, oh, I can buy, it goes to 2, and it very quickly spikes up here, the FOMO kicks in, people realize, oh, it's high, I can sell, they buy, they sell, they buy, I mean, normal stuff. Every chart looks a little bit like this, lots of little spikes and whatever, and the all-time high here was 9 and something, right? No, 8.7, that's the all-time high on this chart. Now soon we will see a different chart that has something else to say. Maybe 8.7 was just for a single trade or something, I'm not sure. The other chart is this one. This gets generated every hour, I think it is, which shows the all-time high being 7.4. But of course this chart also starts a bit later. I think it starts around here, which is why it's 7.4. But yeah, so now we caught up with all the charts, and I'm gonna be continuing with this, and then later on with this one, which is a candlestick view. Candlestick, right? A Yeah, candle chart. Okay, great. Not stick, but whatever. You know what I mean. Anyways, so let's continue. Yeah, the price reached the all-time high, went down a bit, went up and down, little relief bounce here. And then this is around where artists started realizing, oh, I have these hDAO because they were distributed in the first 45 days to anyone who bought or sold artworks on Nunc. And so at some point artists realized, oh shit, I now have a lot of money and I want to sell it because artists are not crypto traders. They don't think about investing in this company, I think. Well, not all of them, of course. I mean, I myself am also an artist, but I'm saying for the general artists, they want to focus on making art and selling art instead of owning some cryptocurrency, which is completely understandable. But yeah, so that's what happened. Artists realized, oh damn, this is what I can do. I think around here is also the birth of the 9hDAO tweet. This was a Brazilian man tweeting that 9hDAO can now give you the minimum wage in Brazil in value in US dollars. Now, this tweet went a bit viral, more people found out about it, and then there's another spike. So many artists started selling the hDAO. And there is this one artist, the most expensive piece sold on Nunc was basically a wash traded piece. One artist who recorded himself buying his own NFT for, what was it, 11,000, 111,000, something like that, I'm not sure anymore, but a lot of Tezos. And now, of course, this was all given back to him in hDAO when he bought it, since it was in the first 45 days. And so he owned a hell of a lot of hDAO, and he periodically dumped them a bit. And so it kept going down, artists dumping, this guy dumping, and then here was the all-time low. If we look back at this chart, we can see that it was at 2.3 Tezos. Now, all-time low after the initial price finding phase, of course. But I'm saying, yeah, the all-time low after the initial price finding was 2.3 Tezos for one hDAO, which was pretty low. People weren't too sure about it, but it found some solid support here. And honestly, if you believed in it, you just bought the dip. That's what I did. And so it kept going sideways for a bit, going a little bit down, a little bit up again. And then I came back to Twitter. And boom. Now, of course, I'm just messing around a bit. Now let's go to the candlestick view, actually, since this is a bit candle view. Yeah, whatever. This is a bit more practical for this thing here. This records the price every day in form of a candle. Yeah, I mean, you probably know what it is. It's a chart. Come on. If you're watching this video, you know what a chart is. But yeah, anyways. So what happened here? What my research led me to find is these two posts that happened May 15 and this one May 14. Now, so May 14th, if we look here, we had the little spike around here because people heard about the governance Vector, the main developer behind Nunc, behind not Nunc, but the Nunc DAO, so hDAO, updated us saying that they're testing the governance, it's on the testnet, we'll have to wait for some revision, and also they're working with BaseDAO devs on a dividends solution. Now, dividends means a part of the fees get paid to hDAO owners, or however they're gonna find this solution, but they're thinking about dividends. Now, of course, we now know that it's still a bit of a weird territory there. How are the dividends going to work? Are there going to be any direct dividends? Are they going to be used to incentivize voting? We don't know. But this was the first thing that made it spike a little bit right here, go back above 3, and at its highest at like 3.7 or something like that. And now the next day, first of all, I become part of the hDAO management, well, the hDAO Twitter team, and then this comes out. So the QuipuSwap API is releasing. We have confirmation from multiple sources working at Madfish, so the QuipuSwap developers, saying it should come before the end of the month, which is today, by the way. And so they didn't really keep their promise, but they again delayed it for about a week or two. Hopefully, this time they're gonna keep the promise. We don't know. But honestly, I believe they will. They are changing a lot. They are working a lot. They added a swap feature in the Temple wallet. They added um, an API for the Temple wallet already. They added dollar amounts on the Temple wallets for all your tokens and not just Tezos. They did a lot of stuff. So yeah, good job to them. Honestly, very good job. And I'm looking forward to this API coming out. But these news seem to be the reason why the big spike here happened. And then it continued on May 16th. Now, if we look, May 16th, we got a very weird announcement, a very cryptic announcement from the Nunc 2000 account, which is managed by Raphael, the founder, saying nothing really, just putting an emoji and saying Tibum residency, also saying that it's gonna be an art residency program. Now, what that means is now known. Tibum residency is a way to fund artists in developing countries and to give them the possibility to expand their art and share their art and also expand just change the art world in general, the NFT world. So, very interesting project, but back then we didn't really know much. But yeah, this was announced the next day. So we had a lot of consecutive announcements, pushed the price up a bit, and then it plateaued for a little bit at around 5, trying to find some support, but then it broke through in a bad way. It went downwards. And it was still looking for some support, but it wasn't too sure. Here is where the turning point comes on the 24th, and there it's finding support again, as you can see, very small candles here, but always going up, nice line upwards. And now here we have the latest little spike going up, reaching almost 5 again, but staying at 4.88. Now it's 4.9. It's probably gonna keep going up like this, or even more, honestly. Let's see what's gonna happen in the future. Now, why did this little spike happen? The hackathon was around these days here when it fell. People were too busy. They were working on the hackathon. And then after the hackathon, 24th, the review came. People talked about what was talked about in the hackathon, what was worked on in the hackathon, the collaborative contracts, the everything really. Like, there were so many things being talked about: the hDAO governance, collaborative contracts, new UI, UX, auctions, all kinds of things really. And so it started going up again a bit. People started realizing that it has worth, but they don't want to buy too expensive, and so they're waiting till it falls under a certain threshold and buy it. So they're creating the support for hDAO, and yeah, so they're creating the support for hDAO, and it's going up. Now, what happened here? What is this little spike about? If we look at the news, let me just scroll up a bit. Video coming out about what hDAO is. There was an hDAO discussion that happened live as well on Twitter with Michael Klein, who is the main developer behind Homebase or BaseDAO. Also, there is the news that a first version of governance will be released most likely in the next 2 weeks. According to this guy, Michael Klein, who is the main developer behind BaseDAO, which is what the hDAO voting system is most likely going to be based on and work on, like run on. So these news may jump a little bit higher again to 4.8, 4.9, and now it's trying to find support again. And my predictions for this is that it's gonna do a bit of the same as it did from May 25th to May 29th, and then have a huge breakthrough after the next little round like that. Why do I think it's going to have a breakthrough? Because the QuipuSwap API is releasing anytime now, and what that means is that QuipuSwap will be able to be listed as an exchange on both CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, and this will lead hDAO to be listed as well as a token on these places. And funny story, if you look at the HyperDAO chart around where hDAO, Nunc DAO got popular, you will see a spike of around 30 to 40%, which happened because people mistook HyperDAO for Nunc DAO as they both have the same short name, hDAO, and HyperDAO is listed on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, and some other exchanges, which led people to confusion, and they bought something they shouldn't have bought, honestly. Yeah, so I am expecting hDAO to go through the roof. I hope it's not going to be too much of a problem for the governance itself, but I believe in the community. I believe that everyone is very competent, and so I am just looking forward to this future. Honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Nunc as a platform, what happens with digital art as an art form, what happens with digital media in general. Now there's more and more news about so many things coming, and so I'm just excited. Honestly, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this, and we're going to the moon.